You know, in a world that feels like it's spinning faster and faster, we get so caught up in what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. But what if the real secret, the key to navigating all this chaos and finding some genuine peace, isn't out there in the future at all, but it's right here, right now? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever been driving and you get to your destination and you have no memory of the trip? Or you finish a whole meal and realize you didn't even taste it? It's this crazy feeling, right? That your life is happening all around you, but you're not fully there for it. You're just lost in thought, and all these precious moments are just slipping right through your fingers.
All right, so to figure out why that happens, we've got to first look at this problem that affects all of us, something we can call the trap of time.
I mean, it really feels like this, doesn't it? Our minds are in this constant tug of war. On one end of the rope, you've got the past, pulling you back into old regrets or maybe sweet memories. And on the other end, you've got the future, yanking you into all sorts of anxieties and what-ifs. And we're stuck in the middle, totally absent from the only place where life is actually going on.
The source material has a great name for this: spiritual amnesia. And it's more than just being a little distracted. It's a deep, deep forgetting. It's when we're just running on autopilot, so lost in the static of our own minds that we practically become ghosts in our own lives. We're eating without really tasting, walking without feeling the ground beneath our feet. We forget that life isn't some problem to be solved later, but an experience to be lived right now.
In this slide, this really just nails a piece of wisdom that's been around forever. When we're mentally stuck in the past, replaying old tapes over and over, it so often leads to depression. And when we're constantly trying to live in a future that hasn't even happened yet, well, that's just a recipe for anxiety. We're basically bouncing between these two states. So what's the way out? This quote from Lao Tzu just says it all so beautifully. Peace isn't something you find by fixing the past or planning the perfect future. Nope, it's found in one place and one place only, right here in the present. Which, of course, brings us to a huge question. Where is reality anyway?
So this leads us to the heart of the matter, the core idea of this whole explainer, which is figuring out what's actually real. Let's break this down. Think about it. The past, as real and solid as it might feel, it's not actually here. It's a memory. It's a story that your mind is telling you right now. And let's be honest, that story is often a little blurry, maybe distorted by our feelings. It's not a place you can visit. It only exists as a thought in this present moment.
And what about the future? Well, that's pure fiction. It's a projection, a movie we're making up in our heads, based entirely on the hopes and fears we're feeling, you guessed it, right now. It has absolutely no substance. It's a total mirage that we're either chasing after or running away from. Okay, so let's put this together. If the past is just a memory and the future is just a projection, then what is left? What is actually tangibly real? This moment, right now. This is the only place where life is actually happening. It's the only solid ground we have to stand on. And that right there is the big aha moment. The present isn't just another moment, it is the only moment that has any reality to it at all.
This idea is sometimes called the eternal now. And it's just that. It's the sacred point of contact with reality itself. It's where we get to experience life directly, without the distorting filters of regret about the past or anxiety about the future. It's the doorway to, well, everything.
So what actually happens when we start living in that doorway, when we start showing up for the now? Well, that brings us to the really good stuff, the incredible, tangible power of presence.
And look, this isn't some abstract philosophical idea. Shifting to presence has real-world, life-changing consequences. When we start to practice it, these 4 amazing pillars start to build up in our lives. We find a kind of peace that actually lasts. We unlock these deep, authentic connections with people. We spark real creativity and get into that flow state. And we finally create the space we need to heal old emotional wounds. Let's take a quick look at each one. First up, peace. And this isn't about your life suddenly becoming perfect. It's about ending the war you're fighting inside your own head against what is. Right? So much of our stress comes from arguing with reality, wishing the traffic would move, wishing you hadn't said that thing. But when we just meet the moment as it is, without fighting it, that constant tension just starts to dissolve. And in that space of acceptance, you find this incredible stillness that has nothing to do with what's going on outside.
Then there's connection. I mean, think about the last time someone was really listening to you. 100% there with you, not just waiting for their turn to talk. When we give someone our full, undivided attention, we're giving them this incredible gift. The
the profound validation of being truly seen. And when that happens, our relationships completely transform. They stop being just transactions and become these genuine, almost sacred encounters.
And what about getting things done? Creativity, effective action, it all happens in just one place, right here in the present moment. Inspiration doesn't show up when we're lost in a fog of anxiety. It strikes in the clarity of the now. This is that famous flow state everyone talks about, where you become completely absorbed in what you're doing. And in that state, your actions just become so much more powerful, intuitive, and effective, because they're not being dragged down by the weight of the past or future.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds fantastic, but how? How do we actually do it? Our minds are so wired to wander off. So that brings us to our final section, the path back home.
The first thing, and this is maybe the most important thing to hear, is that this practice is not about perfection. It's not about forcing your mind to be silent or reaching some impossible state of Zen. Look, your mind is supposed to think. It's going to wander. The entire practice is simply the gentle, kind, non-judgmental act of noticing that it's wandered and then just gently inviting it to come back. That return, over and over and over, that is the whole practice.
And here are 4 super simple ways you can start, like right now. Just take one conscious breath. That's it. Feel the air come into your body and feel it leave. Or, next time you're walking, just feel the sensation of your feet on the ground. Maybe try eating one meal in total silence, just noticing the tastes, the textures. And for all of these, when, not if, but when your mind drifts away, you just gently guide it back. No big deal.
This quote from Thich Nhat Hanh just perfectly captures the whole spirit of this. The big awakening isn't some crazy, supernatural thing. The real miracle is found right here, in the incredible sacredness of just our ordinary everyday moments, if we can just be present enough to actually notice them.
Ultimately, the biggest shift is unlearning this idea that happiness or peace is some future prize we have to earn. The whole journey is about realizing that this moment, right here, exactly as it is complete. It is the destination. There's nowhere else you need to get to.
And it really all boils down to this iconic, simple, and unbelievably profound instruction. 3 words that contain the entire path. Be here now. So, just as we finish up here, for just 1 second, can you feel the weight of your body in your chair? Can you notice the feeling of the air on your skin? Can you hear the little sounds happening in the room around you? Don't search for anything special. Just notice. This is it. This is the moment.